Tell me what you saw last night, Stuart, when you watched him in action, and where is he now regards his game?
In all honesty, Jim, for the first maybe half match, or certainly the first 20 minutes, I was frustrated with him. Because I know there's more to come from him, and he was playing safe, and he was playing backwards, and he received the ball, and he took a touch backwards, then played it back. And then all of a sudden, on 22 minutes, he got the ball turned and run at the opposition. I thought, you've got to do that in the first minute of a game. I played fullback all my life, and the last thing you want is wide players working the angle to get turned and then coming straight at you, especially players with pace like him. And I think England and Marcus have probably got to work that out. How do I play my best game more continually and more consistently? As it goes, the game ended, the game turned on a Foden run when he got turned, a free kick and a wonderful free kick. And credit to him, the pair of them, and Marcus especially, done very well, and maybe well enough to be the man of the match in the game. But I'd like to see more of it more regularly. I
mean, Hal, look at where he's got to, from struggling to make the Manchester United side, as he once was, to joint top scorer at this stage in Qatar. It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, no, I think he has done well. I think the free kick was a very good free kick. I think Ward could have done better in goal. But yeah, it's goals will give you confidence, and I think he's now got that game time. He's now shown what he can do when he's in those areas, and Stuart's 100% right, but also from that perspective of an England perspective, like, you want to get him the ball in an advanced position as possible, and I think that's what England didn't really do, particularly in that first half against Wales, because if they did, they would have annihilated them in that first half too. So yeah, I think it's good to see, and from Rashford's perspective now, he's one of the players who have stepped up to the tournament and could be key going into these latter stages.
Dare I say it, some out there have said that Rashford has been built up to be better than he actually is. And I know where we're going with this. You're in that category.
Yeah, I think it's important to characterise it properly, because I think it's unfair on the boy to some extent. It's not me doing him down. There has been this perception of Rashford that he is a certain player at a certain level, and I think really and truly he isn't as good as people have made him out to be. He's clearly a very talented footballer, otherwise he wouldn't be at Manchester United, he wouldn't be in the England side. And my only observations weren't to be critical of him, was to be actually critical of those that were constantly putting him on a pedestal and at a level that perhaps he wasn't, then judging him by that standard and then criticising him, pulling him down.
So who's done that? Who's put him on a pedestal?
The media and certain segments of the punditry world has looked at him in a certain way and then judged him by, I think, an unfair set of standards.
Well, these two haven't.
No, I'm not talking about them two, but we can talk about other people in the past, and we can talk about other articles that were written about him and criticisms that have been levied at him. Last year he didn't lift a leg. He's got himself together now and got himself into groove and wanted to play in the World Cup, and here he is. And we'll see how he goes. Now,
so what, he's turned it on because the big occasion was coming up?
Well, I think if he didn't pull himself together after what he put out last year, he wouldn't have got anywhere near the England squad. Now, he might have done, because your mate believes on legacy picks as well as peaking on form. But the bottom line is that he got himself together after a very poor season. Whatever that reason was, it's undeniable, whether they want to blame it on Ranieri, or they want to blame it on the culture that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer set in Man United, or they want to blame it on the person himself that did.
Simon, the boy's here on merit, is he not?
I think so, yes. I think absolutely right. But what you're suggesting is that my attitude towards him is not one reflective of where he is. I'm actually criticising those that have built him up to a level and then say, well, actually, here you are in a situation where you're not performing at that level. That was the characterisation that I had of it about 8 months ago.
Sure, where are you at with it? Has he got more levels to reach, Marcus?
Yeah, and I've worked with a lot of young players in the past at international level. What I think we need to do probably is we come to this tournament, and the ones that wow the fans are probably Mbappe, Messi, those individuals, maybe Neymar thrown into the big. We need to get our real talents, like Marcus is one of those, like Foden and various others, to that next level. So they're turning up, and maybe once we get those up with the experience they're getting to that level, that's when we get our hands on the trophy.
But do you think they have the capability? I don't think he has the capability of being compared in the same breath as Mbappe or Neymar. but there were sections of our media that were putting him in that sort of thought process.
No, I agree.
Do you think he is?
You can't speak with him in the same breath as those two.
Right. So that was the characterisation I was pushing back by saying it's unfair to put him at that level, to judge him at those standards, and go, oh, you don't hit those standards.
Oh, you're
That's the point I was
protecting him
making.
now, right?
No, I'm defending the observations that I made about the characterisation of the player, rather than saying I didn't never say he was bloody useless, and never said he wasn't worthy of playing for England last year. He was bloody useless. But at this moment in time, he's hit a vein of form. If they had a decent goalkeeper yesterday, I don't think he'd have scored either one of the goals.
Hal, look at me, Hal. Rashford, more to come from him. He can reach other levels.
Look, in terms of attributes, he has it all, and he's as close as England are going to get to an Mbappe level. But it's being able to deliver that consistently on a game-to-the-game basis at the very highest level. And I think I understand Simon's point in the sense you can't put him on that level on that pedestal, because he's ultimately going to fall short.